Many musicians are standing in ways that is very difficult to actually play their instrument in. We can see here that Daniel is standing very well, but oftentimes musicians are leaning backwards and they're collapsing down into their chest as they go to play. Also excess tensions of shortening the neck, tightening the jaw, and tightening up the legs. We're going to bring him back into a better arrangement with his with the line of gravity moving through him, and we're going to balance him right along here and allow him to expand up. In the Alexandertechnik, we're interested in the best relationship between the head and torso and legs and limbs, of course, the arms, so that all of these coordinate together very efficiently to do very subtle activities like playing music. Now right here, I'm going to ask Daniel to allow his head to not be pulled down onto his neck, but allow that to be very free up here, and to allow his jaw to extend out. We're going to allow his ribs to actually expand with his breath, and this is very important for the violin because it provides the foundation for the violin to rest on in the torso. The violin is often just resting on the collarbone, and we want that collarbone to be supported by the breath underneath the torso. We're going to allow Daniel's arms to actually move up and widen out of his back. That means that from the head, from the middle part of the back, from the lower part of the back, all of these extension muscles are lengthening out to the fingertips. And on the other side, we're widening out from the back, not narrowing the shoulder blades towards the spine, but allowing the shoulder blades to move dynamically for every fingering that happens around on the neck of the violin out here. Now, Daniel, if you bring your bow onto the instrument, and we're just checking what happens at this moment, and we can see a little pressure actually happening in here around the front of the neck. And what we're going to do is just allow Daniel to actually have a little bit more room in there where he's letting that open up. Now we're going to play one note and just see what happens with that note. We see Daniel took care of himself very well in the vertical relationship. And right now we're going to just pay a little attention to widening across the front of the body. Very easily, it's for us to play a note to actually narrow across in here, and we're going to be thinking of actually widening across the front of the body, balanced with the back of the body, so that this is expanding as we play that one note. So here we go again, and take a moment, Daniel, to just expand into it, and we can see that expansion. Now Daniel's ready for the up bow. If he's already expanded, if he had pulled in here, then that would get in the way of his movement up. Now of the bow going up. So now we're balancing upwards. We're making sure we're not leaning back. We're allowing the ribs to come up and back, as well as in front, being balanced. And now we're going to just play the first bar of our music here, and we're going to notice what happens. See just a tiny little here on the sternum. So we're going to allow the sternum to actually come forward a little bit to find the violin. And of course, this is for us all that we tend to pull back on the sternum. We tend to allow that to move down as we put our activities, we put our hands in our activities down here. And what we're going to do is allow the sternum to actually have a little bit of buoyancy, a little bit of loft, a little bit of springiness that's actually coming up here. And now, Daniel, let's play again that first line. And we can see the power of the sternum actually staying upwards as we are going through that music. Okay, so now we're going to begin to play a little bit, and I'm just going to work with Daniel. My hands on him are just a signal for him to expand and lengthen, give more space and more freedom to the different parts of his body. Also, I'll be keeping him in balance as he goes into his movements. So Daniel, if you'll begin to play, and here we go.